Good afternoon, everyone. I know, it's only 10 past 2, it's not 4:30 yet, but due to a scheduling conflict, we have decided better early than not at all. So without further ado, let me bring in today's guest, my friend Melva Hill. Hi,
Hello,
Melva.
Vivian. Hello. It's good to see you. It's been a
Good to see
while.
you. It is, and it's not so easy now. I'm not just in DFW anymore,
Yes.
but that's okay. We'll meet again. Don't know where.
Well, I'm looking forward to next year at Quebec City. So I hope you'll
Absolutely.
be there.
I'm hoping to be there too, but in these days, who knows? We
That's
will
true.
just take
Absolutely.
it as it comes. You know what they say: man makes plans, God laughs.
Yes, he does.
So I always ask people, and we have a viewer who's managed to join us already. Good afternoon, Carolyn Robinson. Yes, it's good to see you too. Glad you could join us. I always ask the first question is for the benefit of anybody who hasn't met you, tell us a little bit about you, family, pets, where you're based.
Okay. Uh, I am a native of Texas. Greenville is where I was born and raised, and that is where I serve as president of our Altrusa Club is in Greenville. And I have 4 children and 8 grandchildren. I am a 6-year-old widow, but I still press on, and Altrusa has been a good part of that pressing on because I still had something to do because all of my kids have left the nest. So and I'm an outgoing person. I have to have my hands in something. So there's nothing better to be involved in as far as I'm concerned as Altrusa, because it gives you such a wide variety of service participation. I mean, you from Chamber of Commerce to any your United Way or whatever. So it gives me a great opportunity to spread my wings and do some things. And I am a pastor, and I have been for 8 years now. Little church it's about 15, 20 miles from Greenville, but keeps me busy. And recently with COVID, it's really kept me busy because, we've been trying to juggle when should we go back. I did a lot of Facebook sermons, and I wasn't real excited about that because I'm a very animated person. I had to sit still, and so that wasn't easy for me, but got through it. And one of the great things about that was it reached beyond my church. And so I had Altrusa sisters from all over the country giving me support through that, the Facebook sermons, and some of them have still been on. So that's wonderful. But I stay busy between my church, Altrusa, and some civic things. Currently, I am very involved in a local Alzheimer's and dementia support group called Remember for Me. And my sister had it, and we found out that there were other members in our family that had it, but I was a caretaker to my sister. So I got involved in that, and we're doing some good things. I feel like, letting people know that you're not in it alone. Somebody is here to help you through it, and not just as somebody that says, well, it's going to be all right. It's people that have gone through it before you. So we can not only sympathize, but we can empathize. And so
Absolutely.
That's kind of me.
So I'm interested because you said that going live on Facebook was a new venture for you. And I know that this is your first podcast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I even asked my daughter, I said, what is a podcast? Because I've heard of them, but I just didn't know the dynamics of them. So, but she broke it down to me. So I wasn't, it's not so much, well, yeah, it is. I'm not techie. So anything that challenges me within the world of technology, I am almost frozen because I've never been good with machines or anything like that. So technology just really kind of frightens me sometimes. But hey, I'm pretty adventurous, so I've got to start somewhere. And that was my real introduction to Facebook. I mean, I dabble in it a little bit here and there, but nothing to the extreme of live broadcast. So, but
I think what we all like about it, as you've found out, is that your spread can go far and beyond
yes,
just your local confines. And in fact, that was why we started doing the podcast, was to be able to reach members who perhaps were not having the fellowship that they normally have at Altrusa meetings, and also to enable some new members to get to know some Altrusans, but they can't do because we don't have conference at the moment.
I know.
So,
I know. And
so thinking about
something that I miss too. I'm sorry. You know, I really miss all the hugs that we usually get and getting caught up. So
absolutely, I did not mean to. It's difficult. There's that split-second time lapse.
Right.
Thinking about Altrusa, though, who introduced you to Altrusa?
I had two introductions to Altrusa. The first time I was asked to become an Altrusan, I really don't even remember who it was that asked me, but I asked someone about Altrusa because I had heard about it, but I really didn't know what they were doing. And, I like to know what your mission is and who's in it and who's committed and who's not, that kind of thing. And the first time I said no, because from everything I was getting, the local club was not very involved. And so I thought, I need something that I'm going to be moving and shaking, And then the second time I was approached by Billy Pickens, who was a local businesswoman. She was a hero, became a hero of mine because she and her husband had started a transformer business, and then he died a few years after they got into it. And she had been running the business herself. Her son came in, but primarily she was the one. And she had been in business for about almost 50 years, about 40 years when I came in, and then subsequently close to 60 years by the time she passed away. But she was my lead sponsor. And, before I said yes to her, I did a little background again. And a friend of mine said, Melva, you don't know, if you don't want to work hard, you better not say yes, because these ladies really get involved. And I said, you said the right words for me. So that was 22 years ago. And it's, I haven't regretted it at all.
I know we often say it to our armed forces, but I'm going to say it to you. Thank you for your service to Altrusa. Obviously, I think you've already covered what's normally my next question, which is what convinced you to become an Altrusan. Tell us a little bit about your Altrusa journey from when you became an Altrusan to now, things you've done.
Well, probably a year and a half into the club, I was asked to be one of the service chairs. Or the service chair, actually. Back then we didn't have co-chairs, and that really kind of started my journey then. A year and a half later, I became president, and it was amazing. I thought, are you sure? But they had confidence in me, and I appreciated that confidence. And I had some wonderful mentors. Billy Pickens was, as I said, my lead sponsor, but I had a mentor by the name of Jane Bryant, and Jane was passionate about Altrusa. I mean, she was the reason I now correct every Altrusan that says I joined Altrusa. I have to say you became an Altrusan, because Jane drove that into me, and it really played out to, when you join something, yeah, you're a part of it, but when you become, you change to be that. And that's what sold me, because the things that we were doing, in the world of literacy and just service, period, paragraph. Since then, I've been on our District 9 board in the position of director as well as second vice governor. I was very honored when our own Linda Nichols was president, international president. I served as her membership chair on her international team. I probably chaired every committee except finance. That's the only one that I haven't. But and then here I am, president again, 21 years later, and a lot of things have changed, Jillian. A lot of things, but I'm committed to it, and I have a wonderful cabinet. As a matter of fact, we did our installation service a little bit late in the year. We just did it Tuesday night. And this year, my theme is Altrusans Help Carry the Load. And you may not know it, but I am an elephant-aholic. I have elephants all over my house, my office. Let's see, I can show you some of my elephants. I mean, they're here, they're everywhere. And that's my mascot, if you will. But we've got lots of things going on. This is such a difficult time. It's really hard to know what the year is going to play out to be. But as I told the Altrusans at our banquet, installation and year-end banquet, Altrusans are made of some special stuff. And regardless of what the challenge is, we give it our best shot. And, even if we don't make it, we still gave it our best shot. But I have no problem believing that we're going to overcome this, and we're still going to do things this year that will impact our community.
Absolutely. And just using that as a kind of lead in, I'm going to share some of the comments we've got. Okay. Connie Corwin Brown has said she almost missed us, but as I did explain, we have a slight scheduling issue, so we decided to go live. Connie, you can go back afterwards, click on the link again and watch it entirely, so you don't need to miss anything. Amy Renee Miller, hi Amy from Pennsylvania, says, we are Altrusans. Yes, we are. Yeah. And I did want to share this one comment with you, which the person who wrote it did not realize that she hadn't shared her name with StreamYard. But I do know that this was one of my previous guests, Sylvia Silverman, and she said, I love Melva. I met her during my visit to District 9 and had an immediate connection. She helped me out with the installation banquet during the Centennial Convention, and she comforted members of District 2 when we found out about our dear Mildred Medders passing.
Yes.
That was a nice little comment from Sylvia. I'm sure she's not watching live. She'll catch us on the rerun.
Well, that's for you, Sylvia. I love you too. And I look forward to seeing you next year. I'm going to be very positive. We're going to be there next year.
Absolutely. And it's also a good time to remind people that this podcast does get uploaded to YouTube too. Mm-hmm. You can share it with friends from that link. Just search for Ask About Altrusa. And I do thoroughly recommend that you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss us. It's a really good and easy way to find us. So now that I've got the commercials out the way, none being paid, by the way.
Right.
I want to ask you, Melva, in all the time you've been an Altrusan, district, international, club, what's your favorite project?
I have to say, one that we've been doing close to 10 years now, and it's called Books Around Town. And it started out Books Around Town, and then it evolved into, or an offshoot of it, is our reading rodeo. And we choose a school, usually elementary, preschool, because we've even done Head Start through elementary. We go to that school. We have a boatload of books, and each child gets to choose a book. And once we sit down with them, we let them read to us, we read to them, and then the book that they chose, they get to take it home. And I guess probably the confirmation that we were really doing a good job is to see a little kid's face when they say, I can keep this. And, to know that we are establishing something with them that they have not been privy to until now, to own a book. My kids had books that I've still got boxes of books. It's books because they didn't take them with them. Ashley, Dawn, I still have all of your books, but but it lets me know that that was something that was a good thing that I was instilling in my own children, and then to see these kids. And with that being said, I'm going to do a new take on the project this year. We're going to do Build Your Own Library. And we are going to give the kids 2 to 3 books, so they have a real library. When we do the reading rodeo, we will present them with a book bag that has 3 books, probably. I feel at least it'll be 3, because we have some folks that have some great connections to buying books, some that are in the school district, another one that runs a youth program that it's been very helpful for us to get books dirt cheap. So I'm thinking that is going to be an even bigger deal for me, because it just makes me feel good to see these kids taking ownership.
Absolutely.
Is basically what they're taking ownership in.
And just a little follow-up to when I said about Sylvia's comment, Amy Renee Miller said, Melva, you were such a great comfort to all of us. That's your district too, you see.
Oh, God bless you. It was my pleasure. I mean, I just felt that pain that you all were all feeling. And I thought, well, I didn't even think. I think God just said, go do it. And that's what I did. And that's what he called me to do. So I have to be, the scripture says, be ye also ready. And I try to be. Regardless. Mm-hmm.
And Connie Corwin Brown, and if you don't know, Connie is my potato buddy.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure she's laughing now. But in Dallas one year, we did The Potato Is Your Friend. And nobody knew why we were doing this. And it was a kind of fun take on how you get to know people the longer you spend time with them.
Yes.
And so Connie's saying she hasn't met you in person, but you're her new friend.
Aww.
And so she's really enjoying the podcast. And I know that Connie will be doing her best to be in Quebec as well.
Great. Look forward to it.
Absolutely. Thinking now, this one's tricky, I know, because everybody says there's more than one moment. But if I had to have you pick one moment in your Altrusa journey that gave you goosebumps, what's that one special moment?
That is very easy. My daughter was once a member of the Dallas Club, and I was there for her initiation. Nothing else beats that one.
Oh yeah, I understand that. It can be a special time, and
yes, absolutely,
that's for sure. But as I say, she must have been before my time in Dallas, so I'm sorry. But
yes,
hi. Amy says she always remembers you being the most awesome expediter and keeping her as the photographer in line.
Well, it's funny because my mom was about 5'1", maybe 5'2", and I started out at about 5'10" and a half, a little shorter now, but even though she was only 5'2", she was like 9 feet tall to me, and so I tried to emulate her. So that's probably why I just kind of take charge. And I don't mean any harm, but some people want you to, some don't. But yes, I remember her. I do.
Thinking now about the purpose of these podcasts initially was to be able to reach out to people who perhaps are not yet Altrusans, and we want them to become an Altrusan. Yeah. And I think I say this in every podcast. Aunt Sue Powell, There's who I get. I have to
Oh,
slap myself if I don't say become an Altrusan.
absolutely.
She is just absolutely one of a kind.
Yes.
But if you were speaking to someone now, if I'm giving you this opportunity that could be somebody watching, maybe not today, it might be another day,
Mm-hmm.
and they were thinking, why Altrusa? What would you say?
I think first I would say to them that I want you to first have a heart for service, because I want you to know that if you don't have a heart for service, then Altrusa is not for you. But if you truly feel like you have a heart for service, this is the best place for you. Because even though our main focus is literacy, we still branch out in so many different areas. We have so many things that you can venture out into. You're not put in a little box that says you have to do this and this alone. There's enough variety and expectations when you come into Altrusa that we can meet the needs of pretty much anyone. We can meet the needs of someone that is an empty nester that needs some things to really get involved in. We can meet the needs of a widow. We can meet the needs of someone who has children, but still needs to be engaged in things, because there are different levels of service. And by levels of service, I just mean different areas, I think, more than anything, that the variety that is there, the diversity that is there, it's hard to miss you. But the key is having that heart for service. If you don't, I have a problem with people that, I want to be involved in that little project. Do you understand what involvement means? Involvement means commitment. Involvement means that you are determined to make this project a success. And when it comes to service, if you don't have that heart for it, you won't be committed, and you won't be as dedicated to making that and determined to making it a success. And so that's what I would tell anyone that might be considering it. And it, because you mentioned that, that's one of the things this year I have said to my membership committee. I don't want 10 or 20 new people. I want you to first sustain and maintain what we have. And then the new ones that come in, we need to teach them. We need to groom them so that they totally understand the Altrusa experience. Because if they don't understand it, if we who have been in this organization for so many years have not communicated the depth of that commitment, then they will never be happy. They will never be successful. And I don't want anybody to walk away from Altrusa because they were unhappy. They didn't catch it. They didn't get it. That's never what. And I know some people do have to leave, for health issues or they relocate or whatever. Those kinds of things are different. But, to have come into this organization all pepped up and ready to do something, and then, well, you weren't what I thought you were. Well, I feel like that falls on us who are veterans. We have not helped them to see what truly is the Altrusa commitment.
I can understand entirely why Linda Nichols had you as her membership. And I totally can see it. I'm just sitting here in awe of, you are such an awesome Altrusan. You truly are. I'm trying to think back. I think the first time I met you, you were maybe doing the conference remembrance, I think, on the Sunday morning. And I didn't know. I think because I'd only been an Altrusan since the January, and this was April.
Yes.
It was in Frisco.
Yes, yes.
And, I didn't know the people, but by gosh, you had me in tears. It was so heartfelt. It was so, and I think that would be the word, heartfelt. Mm-hmm. You weren't just mouthing platitudes. You truly, you shine. You truly embody what you tell us. So for that, I'm going to say again, Melva, thank you. You're one of my heroes.
Oh, when you mentioned that, thank you for bringing that up, because I remember that time, and I had an Altrusa that came up to me, and I can't tell you what her name is today, but she said, promise me when I die, you will read for me. And I, like you said, I just get into it, and that's the way I am about pretty much everything. And I'm an overachiever probably, but I just feel like if you're not going to do it to the best of your ability, don't bother. Don't bother.
Well, all I can say is you're wonderful.
Oh,
so
bless you.
Thank you very much.
Because you love me. And I love you.
I do too. You know that. That was a bit of a giveaway. That's all the questions I have for you today. And I'm sure you'll say, well, you were a bit concerned. Did you want to do this podcast? I don't have horns. I don't bite. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. Because it gave me an opportunity to reminisce and, just kind of touch base with some of the ladies that did chime in, and I appreciate that. And it's a new experience for me, and I do like new experiences. So it's not bad. It's kind of fun. So if you need me again, give me a call.
Absolutely. And if you can think of other people that you think might make willing participants for me, okay. I'm always on the lookout for recommendations.
All right.
For the benefit of your daughter and others who were expecting us to be online at 4:30, just remind them that same link, they just click it, they can watch the whole thing then.
Okay. So, well, I will, the one that you text to me, correct? Okay.
No. The one that is on the Facebook page. The one I sent to you in Messenger is the link to get into my studio.
Oh, okay.
Once we finish talking, that link will expire.
Okay.
One last comment from former Governor District 4, Carolyn Robinson. She's so glad she got to meet you. What a great Altrusan.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much. The biggest part of me, of course, God made all of me, but the biggest part of me I attribute to my mother. She would have made a fantastic Altrusan. And I'll close with this. I realized that I was born to be an Altrusan when we went to the Centennial Convention. We were sitting there and they were reading the history, and they said that Altrusa was born April 14th. 1917. That was my mother's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Day and year. Next verse. My mother's first name was Mamie.
Oh, my goodness.
So I was meant to be.
Absolutely. It, never fails to amaze me how things come up and people say, oh, what a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it's a coincidence at all.
Not at all.
So with that, I will say thank you so much, Melva. I will bid you adieu. If you want to just stay in the studio, I will be back with you in a moment.
All right. Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the comments and the support, Altrusans. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Melva. And so with that, I can't tell you who my next guest will be. I'm still talking them into it. So if you have suggestions, please get in touch with me, subscribe to the channel, share the channel, but I look forward to seeing you again soon. I will post the link just as soon as it's confirmed. Thank you all. Have a great day.